Hadzabe hunting techniques and language, the survival skills of Tanzania's last hunter-gatherers. The Hadzabe tribe, one of the last true hunter-gatherer societies in the world, has lived in the region surrounding Lake Eyasi in Tanzania for tens of thousands of years. Their way of life revolves around hunting, gathering, and deep knowledge of nature, allowing them to survive in a challenging environment. One of the most fascinating aspects of Hadzabe culture is their hunting techniques and unique language, both of which have been passed down through generations. Hadzabe hunting techniques. Unlike pastoralist or farming communities, the Hadzabe do not domesticate animals or cultivate crops. Instead, they rely entirely on the land, using a combination of tracking, archery, and teamwork to catch their food. 1. Hunting weapons and tools. The Hadzabe's main hunting tool is the bow and arrow, crafted with precision from natural materials. Bows are made from conifer wood, known for its strength and flexibility. Arrows are tipped with either sharpened iron or poison from the adenium plant, which paralyzes animals within minutes. Feathers from birds like guinea fowl are used to stabilize arrows in flight. Their archery skills are highly advanced, allowing them to hit moving targets from long distances. 2. Hunting strategies. The Hadzabe have developed highly effective hunting strategies, adapted to different types of prey. A. Small game hunting, birds, monkeys, small antelopes. For small animals, Hadzabe hunters use silent stalking techniques to get close to prey. Camouflage from the natural environment to avoid detection. Quick, precise arrow shots aimed at the head or heart for an instant kill. B. Large game hunting, buffalo, zebra, warthog, baboons. Hunting large animals is rare, but provides meat for the entire group when successful. They track animal footprints, dung, and broken branches to find prey. Multiple hunters work together, surrounding the animal from different sides. They target weak points, neck, chest, or legs, to disable the animal. Once the animal is down, they quickly finish the hunt with spears or knives. 3. Tracking and bushcraft skills. The Hadzabe are masters of tracking, using signs in nature to locate animals. Footprint analysis, they determine an animal's size, speed, and direction based on footprints in the dirt. Listening to bird calls, certain birds alert them to the presence of predators or prey. Following animal behavior, they observe how animals interact with their surroundings to predict movement. This deep understanding of the land allows them to hunt successfully even without modern technology. 4. Cooperative hunting with the honeyguide bird. One of the most unique aspects of Hadzabe hunting is their cooperation with the greater honeyguide bird, indicator. The bird leads Hadzabe hunters to beehives by making distinctive calls and flying ahead. Once the Hadzabe harvest the honey, they leave wax and leftover honey for the bird, creating a mutualistic relationship. This human-animal cooperation has existed for thousands of years and is one of the few documented cases of such behavior in the wild. 5. Butchering and food sharing. Once an animal is killed, the Hadzabe follow strict cultural traditions when dividing the meat. The liver and heart are often eaten immediately, cooked over an open fire. Meat is divided among all group members equally, ensuring no one goes hungry. Bones are cracked open to extract marrow, a valuable source of fat and nutrients. Unlike other societies, the Hadzabe do not store food, meaning they must hunt regularly to survive. Hadzabe language, Hadzan, the Click language of Tanzania. The Hadzabe speak Hadzan, one of the rare Click languages in the world, similar to those spoken by the San people of southern Africa. 1. Click sounds in Hadzan. Hadzan is unique because it includes click sounds, made by clicking the tongue against the roof of the mouth, making popping or smacking sounds while speaking, combining clicks with vowel and consonant sounds. This makes it difficult for outsiders to learn, but it is highly effective for communication in the open savanna. 2. Oral tradition and storytelling. Since Hadzan has no written form, the Hadzabe pass down their history, myths, and hunting knowledge through oral storytelling. Elders tell stories at night around the fire. These stories include hunting lessons, spiritual beliefs, and tribal history. Songs and chants help teach younger generations about survival and cultural values. 3. Communication during hunting. While hunting, the Hadzabe use a mix of hand signals, whispers, and clicks to stay silent and not scare away animals. A specific click or whistle might indicate the presence of prey. Hand gestures signal direction and distance to other hunters. They use low-volume speech to avoid being detected by animals. This makes Hadzan not only a language for everyday use but also an essential survival tool. Hadzabe survival in the modern world. Despite their deep connection to their traditional ways, the Hadzabe are facing increasing challenges. Encroachment on their land by farmers and cattle herders. Deforestation reducing hunting grounds and available wild food. Influence of modern society, introducing tourism, trade, and external languages. Some Hadzabe have started to adapt, learning Swahili to communicate with outsiders, while others continue to resist modern influences, preserving their ancient hunting techniques and language. Conclusion. The Hadzabe hunting techniques and Hadzan language are two of the most unique aspects of their culture. Their ability to track animals, use poisoned arrows, and communicate silently makes them one of the most skilled hunter-gatherer tribes in the world. At the same time, their click language, Hadzan, remains a linguistic treasure, helping them communicate effectively while preserving their oral history.
Dawe ko zamu ekwa ono kweko haya ihe kana nga ukwata na lutu hutana mana fetete ni mo chame akwako ichame na kwate mpaka takotosha ma itakuta tsa kumgo daga ada ko babu jelomani ko konyesa ita so sasa itebi katase anga katase 카 부처치가다
과거 자기 봐 디득하 가시나 내가
자위야 거 자위야 거 하이
이게 참에 애기다 마
Shaba's wife is safe, but the danger is not over. The next morning, the village buzzed with excitement. Shaba had found his wife and brought her back safely, but something was wrong. She had not spoken much since last night. She sat by the fire, wrapped in a blanket, eyes staring at the flames. The village women brought her food, but she only took small bites. Shaba watched her closely. He had expected her to laugh, talk, or even complain about the jungle. But instead, she was quiet. Finally, Shaba sat next to her. "Tell me, what happened in the bush?" She looked up at him, then around at the villagers. Then, in a soft whisper, she said, "Something was out there, watching me. A night in the jungle, what she saw." She took a deep breath and began to tell her story. After she had walked away from the village, she had tried to find her way back, but got lost. The trees looked the same. The darkness swallowed everything. Then, she heard it. A deep growl. At first, she thought it was the wind. But then the sound came closer. She wasn't alone. She had started running, pushing through the bushes, her dress ripping on thorns. And then, she had seen glowing eyes in the dark. Watching. Following. Not a lion. Not a hyena. Something else. "It didn't attack me," she whispered. "It just followed me." The elders speak, a dangerous presence. The village elders listened carefully. One of the oldest men, Mzi Bakery, cleared his throat. "This is not the first time someone has seen this." The villagers leaned in. "There is something in the jungle," he said. "Something that watches, but does not attack." The younger hunters exchanged glances. Shaba frowned. "What is it?" Mzi Bakery shook his head. "Some say it is a lost spirit. Some say it is an animal that no one has ever caught. Whatever it is, it does not belong in this world." A chill ran down Shaba's spine. His wife hugged herself, shivering. "I don't want to go back out there." Shaba took her hands. "You don't have to. I will protect you." But deep inside, he knew. He had to go back into the jungle. He had to find out what was watching her. Because whatever it was, it might come back. Shaba must return to the jungle. The hunt for the unseen begins. The sun rose over the Hadzabe village, casting a golden glow on the huts and the waking people. The air was filled with the smell of burning firewood as the women prepared the morning meal. But something was different. There was no laughter. No one was telling stories or singing. The European woman, Shaba's wife, was still shaken from the night before. She sat close to the fire, her arms wrapped around herself. She had barely slept. Shaba, on the other hand, was restless. He stood at the edge of the village, staring into the trees. His spear was in his hand, his mind deep in thought. Something had followed his wife in the jungle. Something unnatural. And he had to find out what it was. The Council of the Elders. The elders of the village gathered under the big baobab tree. The whole village surrounded them, listening carefully. Mzee Bakery, the oldest and wisest man in the village, spoke first. Shaba, my son, do you truly want to go back into the jungle? Shaba nodded, without hesitation. Yes. If something is out there, I must face it. Mzee Bakery sighed. He looked around at the other elders, before speaking again. There are things in this land that even we, the Hadzabe, do not fully understand. Some say they are spirits, some say they are beasts not yet discovered by man. The villagers murmured amongst themselves. Juma, Shaba's best friend, stepped forward. Then we must hunt it, he said. Whatever it is, we are warriors. We cannot let fear control us. The young hunters shouted in agreement. Shaba's wife, still sitting by the fire, suddenly spoke. What if it comes back tonight? She asked, her voice shaking. The village fell silent. Mzee Bakery nodded slowly. Then we must act before night falls. The warriors prepare for the hunt. Shaba and Juma gathered the strongest hunters in the village. Each man armed himself with a bow, poison-tipped arrows, and a spear. The women watched anxiously as their men painted their faces with ash and dirt, preparing for battle. Shaba's wife stood and walked to him. Are you sure about this? She whispered. He took her hands and smiled. I am Hadzabe. This is my land. I must protect it. She nodded, still afraid, but she knew she couldn't stop him. With that, the warriors disappeared into the jungle. The deep jungle, strange signs. The jungle was quiet. Too quiet. Shaba walked ahead, eyes scanning the ground for tracks. Then, suddenly, Juma stopped. Look. Everyone gathered around a tree. Deep claw marks ran down the bark. The cuts were fresh. The hunters exchanged worried glances. This is not a lion, one of the men whispered. Shaba knelt and touched the marks. Something big had passed here. Then, he noticed something else. Footprints. But not human. Not animal. Something in between. A cold chill ran through Shaba's body. We are not alone, he murmured. The Hadzabe tribe, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies in Africa, resides in the Lake Eyasi region of northern Tanzania. Their way of life has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years, relying on hunting, gathering, and a deep connection with nature to sustain themselves. Unlike agricultural or pastoralist societies, the Hadzabe do not farm or keep livestock, instead sourcing their food directly from the land. Their diet consists of wild game, honey, tubers, and seasonal fruits, making their meals simple yet highly nutritious. A day of hunting and gathering. Morning preparations. The Hadzabe typically start their day at sunrise. Men and boys prepare for the hunt, grabbing their traditional bows and arrows, often tipped with poison extracted from the adenium plant. Women and children set out to gather tubers, fruits, and honey. Hunting can last for hours, depending on luck and skill. If successful, the hunters return with game such as dikdik, a small antelope, guinea fowl, or even larger animals like baboons or warthogs. Cooking the meal. Unlike many cultures that use pots and pans, the Hadzabe prepare their food over an open fire with minimal tools. If meat is brought back, it is immediately roasted on the flames. The process is straightforward, there are no elaborate seasonings, just the rich, smoky flavor of open fire cooking. The meat is shared communally, reinforcing their strong social bonds. Steps for cooking meat Hadzabe style. Starting the fire, the Hadzabe use fire-making techniques involving rubbing sticks together or striking flint stones to ignite dry grass. Preparing the meat, the animal is skinned and butchered on site. The intestines are removed but not discarded, they are often roasted and eaten as well. Roasting over open flames, large chunks of meat are skewered on sticks and placed directly over the fire, turning occasionally to ensure even cooking. Eating immediately, there is no storage or refrigeration, so meat is consumed fresh. Any leftovers may be dried in the sun for later use. For plant-based foods, tubers are roasted in the embers until they soften, then peeled and eaten. Baobab fruit is crushed and mixed with water to create a refreshing, vitamin-rich drink. Honey, a prized food, is sometimes mixed with fruits or eaten directly from the comb. Cultural significance of food sharing. The Hadzabe have no strict mealtime schedules or personal food ownership. Instead, food is shared freely among the group. If a hunter returns with meat, it is distributed among all members of the community, regardless of who made the kill. This practice ensures that everyone is cared for, and no one goes hungry. Even during times of scarcity, the Hadzabe demonstrate remarkable resilience. They know which roots and plants are safe to eat, and they have extensive knowledge of the behavior and migration patterns of the animals they hunt. Modern challenges and adaptation. As Tanzania modernizes, the Hadzabe face increase.